Now we want to look at getting competitors' backlinks. So this again is critical for local businesses and online stores. And you want to find business directories and other sites that your competitors are on, and then go and list yourself on those sites as well. So you need to use the same business name, address, phone number, and website link, just like we were speaking about before. And some of these sites can take like 2 minutes to list on, and some can take an hour or more to list on, because in some of them you can put in photos, you can put in all kinds of other information about your business. And I definitely recommend that you put in as much information there as possible. So what we're going to look at now is how to manually search for your competitors' backlinks. So this is going to be the free way that you can manually search and find those links that your competitors have. So we're going to do that by finding our competitor's business name and using our competitor's domain name as well. So I just went and had a look for the previous one where we did the ice cream shop in Mooloolaba. And these were the businesses that came up, and these were the domain names that came up. So when we went and did this search, we found Ben & Jerry's. There wasn't really a whole lot of other businesses that were on this first page or even the second page, but there was some of the businesses up here that I could use to find some business names. So the first thing we're going to look at then is, I don't even know how to say that, Gelatissimo or something in Mooloolaba. So what we've done is a Google search for this word here, their business name, and these are all the sites that have come up. So now we're finding the sites that our competitors are on. So they're on Facebook. This is their actual website by the looks of it. They're on TripAdvisor, which we already had, Deliveroo. So let's go back and have a look. Did we have Deliveroo on the list? No. So that's another one that we can add to the list. We had Uber Eats, TripAdvisor, Zomato.com. So again, then you'd be going back to the list. Did we have Zomato? Yes. Okay, Zomato is on there already. HappyCow.net. So what is that? So HappyCow.net. Looks like it might be a directory for restaurants and stores. You can add a listing. So we click on that, see what happens. So it's free and easy to join. So we want to go back and just double check. So this definitely looks like it is a website that you can list yourself on if you're a restaurant and store. I don't know if you have to be something that has something to do with some kind of dairy product, or if that's just their random name. But these are the kind of crazy things that come up, and it's about looking at, okay, well, you know, my competitor here, they have a listing, so let's get a listing as well. The website link is over there, but it says claim this business. So it seems like that this business hasn't even claimed their profile on Happy Cow, and that happens sometimes as well. You might find that even though you didn't create it, when you go and try and list yourself on these business directories, there might already be a listing for your business on there that you can claim and update. Lasso.com.au, let's have a look. We didn't have that on the list, so again, that's another one that we can add down here onto the list. Then we can just keep searching through all the pages down here, just kind of see where they're listed. And we might go over the first 4 or 5 pages of Google just to see what sites they're listed on. So if we go back to page 3, we see TripAdvisor again. We see Aussie Hours, so that's a directory. Northern Star, that sounds like some kind of a newspaper. So it's just a matter of going into all of these and seeing, what are they? And can I also list my website? There's their LinkedIn listing. Lunchtime.com.au. So what is that? Okay, so this website certainly has a lot of ads on this, but it seems to have the restaurant details there with a link to the restaurant. So the fact that it's called lunchtime, it looks like you can put like menus on there. So then we're going to look and see, well, how would I actually add myself onto this? So we come down to the bottom. So you might be able to go to the Contact Us and try and find out how to actually get on there. But in many cases, if there's no clear way to list yourself on the site, then it might be that you actually can't list yourself on the site, that they are manually creating the listings themselves, or that it's an old website and it's no longer taking listings. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the next one. So we're looking at Ben & Jerry's in Mooloolaba. Now if I just type in Ben & Jerry's, because they're like a huge chain, then you'll notice that it comes up with all this like branded information about them. And this is not the Ben & Jerry's, it's actually in Mooloolaba. And so if we went through and we started to look at the links just for the Ben & Jerry's name, then what you're going to find is that it's going to have things like Wikipedia, it's got Woolworths, so there's like big sites that they're listed on. And that's because this would be the kind of links that they would be getting for their brand. But what we actually want when we're like a local business is that we want to find the links that they're getting for their store in Mooloolaba. So therefore we would do the search with Ben & Jerry's Mooloolaba, and then it would come up over here with the actual Ben & Jerry's Google My Business listing that is in Mooloolaba. And then we're going to be looking to see, okay, what sites are they listed on? So again, we've got Facebook, TripAdvisor, Uber Eats, Weekend Notes. Here's one on commercial real estate, so may or may not be useful. Tiendio. So it's just a matter of going through and clicking on these things that Ben & Jerry's Mooloolaba is listed on. Groupon, the white pages, local search, site clicks, and trying to find places where you can also list yourself. Again, if we did ice creams galore, then the interesting thing I found for them is that they don't actually have a website. You can certainly go and see where they might have listed themselves. They might be linking back to their Facebook page rather than their website. And there might be, they've got Foursquare here, they've got local store. And so there may well be all kinds of places that you can find that they're listed, that you could list yourself. And even though they don't have a website, on your listing, you would obviously put in your website. Then there's this one here, Smoochie's Fudge and Ice Cream, because they are not like a big chain. They're like an individual single store. If we then went and copied their website, and we just want to find sites where that domain name is listed, so we can see we've got Facebook, Aussie World, TripAdvisor again, local search, Lotto's, LinkedIn, Seniors News, so that's not one that we've seen before. Hampers to Go, that isn't one that we've seen before. So again, it's just going through and finding, okay, where have they actually got their website listed, and can you get yours listed there as well? And so you would do the exact same thing with all of these. Now with Ben & Jerry's, it's actually Ben & Jerry's Mooloolaba. So if you go here, and when you actually go to sort of like the listing for Mooloolaba, the page that it takes you to is their Ben & Jerry's Mooloolaba page. So we can see that for Ben & Jerry's Mooloolaba, again, Facebook, TripAdvisor, Weekend Notes, local search, Groupon, Uber Eats, TripAdvisor. So you're going to get like the same sites that are coming up over and over again, but that's okay because you're just looking for ones that you haven't seen before. So Infobel, so we can go and have a look at that one, for instance. And we can see that this is a listing for their business. So it's a simple listing, has the business name, address, there's a phone number and a website there. And it looks like it lets you put links into your Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, some opening hours, and maybe some photos in there as well, or at least your business logo. So that's how you find places that your competitors have their business listed, that you could also go and list your business. So I've just made some changes on the checklist for you. So this is where you're adding in your businesses. So I've put them into maps, social media business profiles, social media personal profiles, and then there's some other high authority profiles that you can list yourself on, and I've put some notes over here. And then this is where you're putting in the sites that you've found that are specific to your business keywords. And then down here you can put in the directories and sites that are specific to your competitors. And then you can go and list yourself on there, fill in the login, email, password, username, etc. And then when they give you the listing for your specific business, then you can put that in there for your records. Now the second way that you can find listings that your competitors have is by using various software. So we use software called Bright Local to manage all our clients and to find new listing opportunities for them. There are a number of other softwares that you can use to find competitor links that all vary in how much they cost, but they often have like a free section or a free version or a limited free ability to also find links. So I recommend, certainly right now during these times, use the free parts as much as you can. And then at some point in the future, like I said, we're going to be doing this possibly somewhere between half an hour to 2 hours every week, or 2 to 8 hours a month of listing on these. So it's going to be an ongoing task, often for a number of years. And so you want potentially to be able to use some of these softwares in the future when you've got like a lot more income. But right now, I would recommend just using what I've already taught you to do, which is the manual stuff, which is really critical anyway, because then you'll find the ones that are the most important in your industry. And then for the ongoing long term, you can use some of these softwares. So we're going to go in and have a look at some of these now. This is what you're going to see when you're inside Bright Local. Bright Local up here. And you can list all your clients and locations there. So if you have 5 different locations for your business, then you can set up 5 of these, so 1 for each location with each address. If you just have 1 location, then you would set up just that 1 location for your business. So I'm going to show you, this is my personality types website, which is more like an online store than anything. It's an affiliate store, so anything that's on sale on that store I get affiliate commission for. So because of that, I haven't really done, like as you can see, this is supposed to be the key citations. I haven't really done any of these key citations because, as I mentioned before, it's an online store and we've been focusing 90% for this on content creation. This will show me the live citations that I've got, which are mostly just the social media profiles. But what it also does is shows you if there's any pending that you've submitted to, that you can enter the data in there when you submit. And the key thing that's critical when we're looking for our competitors is where my competitors have got listings on. And it will also give you the order in what is the highest authority and what it thinks is valuable and what kind of sites it is and whether it's free or paid. Sometimes it doesn't know whether it's free or paid, but it's quite fine to just use the free sites. So on here it's given me some suggestions of places that I could put my site. Now the way that it works out what these suggestions are is that it finds what it thinks are your 5 competitors, as well as just by going by the category that you list yourself in. So you'll see here that it's making these suggestions for me, even though it's saying that it will have a tick here if any of my competitors are on it. So this is saying that this competitor here of mine is on that site. So if you go and have a look at what these competitors are, one of them is like a jewelry store, clothing store, I think that's clothing, furniture store. So it's just kind of finding whatever stores that it can find, because it obviously can't work out what would be a competitor for my personality types affiliate site. And look, there really isn't that many competitors for this particular online store. But you can see how useful it is. I can click over here to go directly to that site to get the citation. And if I want to see what my competitors have, then I can click on that green tick and it will take me over and show me like my competitors listing on this site, so I can see whether it is relevant and a place that I would want to list my business on. So that's for an online store. Same kind of thing happens when you've got a business that's in a specific location. So Fruitful Online, my SEO business that I've had since 2011, and my address used to be in Brisbane. So I moved last year, and because my focus, I get most of my referrals from word of mouth, so I haven't really spent any time changing all of this over, because it really just hasn't been relevant. And I knew that I was going to change my business name and everything would have to change. So the good thing is that when I go in here and change this, it will have, and I'll have a different address, then what's going to happen is that it will put it in red to show me everything that isn't the right address. And so therefore we can go in. So if I decide that I want to rank for keywords like SEO services, Sunshine Coast, SEO search engine optimization, Sunshine Coast, because the Sunshine Coast is where I live now, and that might be an area that I specifically want to get clients from, then that's what I would do, is make sure that I've got the same name, address, phone number across every listing. That's not my priority right now because I want to focus on training, but it just kind of gives you the idea of how useful it is for a local business. Again, we've got like all the live citations, anything pending, and then you've got the competitor citations. So for this one, it's giving me Titan Digital, Bonfire Brisbane. So it's giving me sites that it thinks are my competitors, but it will also be looking at whatever industry that I listed myself in, like internet marketing, to see what sites people are in. So I can have a look and go, Amazon, well, if I'm a local business and I'm selling a service, very unlikely that I would want to list myself on Amazon. So I can go and see what this particular competitor has, and well, that's definitely doesn't even exist anymore anyway. Definitely not a site that I want to list myself on. So it's good because you can rule things out as well. eBay, I don't sell anything that I would be able to sell on eBay, so I can go here and I see. So obviously they think one of my competitors, what's this, a digital fitness scale. So I don't know, what competitor is that? Titan Digital. Maybe that's what they do, sell digital scales. So you can see it can get it wrong, but then there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that it gets right. What you can do though is, if these sites here are totally irrelevant, if BrightLocal found ones here that are completely irrelevant, then you can contact BrightLocal and tell them that these are wrong and it's not helpful, and they will change them for you and find ones that are really relevant. So most of my clients, the competitors that they give them are relevant, but in this case it was good to see an example of where it's not, so that you know what to do there. So because I'm managing so many clients, this is really critical to be able to have this data, have something that keeps everything in there so that we can keep going and doing things. We can also, if we manually find like this, then we can go and add them into BrightLocal. So you can upload any links that you find into BrightLocal, and when you list on one of those sites, you can just add it in as a pending citation, and then BrightLocal will search the web for you, and once that citation becomes, that listing or directory listing becomes live, then it will actually put it over into your live ones for you. And you can see I haven't refreshed this since February 2019, so over a year ago. And if I refreshed it now, then it might come up and it would tell me which ones are new. So SEMrush was one of the ones that was on the list there. So I want to show you how you can use SEMrush to find links for websites. So if you go into the free version, it will actually give you one free project. So if you come down to the project section, and then you add a new project, and so this is where we want to add the competitor's website. So if we go back over to here, so we want to find out what links our competitors have. So we're going to go into SEMrush and we're going to put that in there, and we're going to call it Smoochies. We're going to create that project. So once you've done that, then you can click on Smoochies and it will take you to a page that has all of this kind of information that you can get about your competitor. So the thing that we really want to do is get a backlink audit. So usually I'll just leave it as the root domain, but you can see how they can have links, a various amount of links going to different versions. If one of these shows you more links, then you might click the one that has the most. Then it will ask if there's any other brand names that you want to add, what kind of category that it's in, so food and drink. And then we want to see what countries that you want to target. And then we'll do start the backlink audit. If you were doing this for your particular website, so if you were trying to find all the backlinks for your website and keep track of them all in here, then you can connect what's called Google Search Console. That will have a list of all the links in there that Google has found, and that will bring it back into the software. But because we're actually trying to check one of our competitors, we can't connect to their Google Search Console, so we can't get the information from there. Okay, so this one is saying that the backlink audit has been completed. So there's 11 domains that are referring. So I'm going to go to the results. I'll click on that 11 and it's going to take us to places where they have links. So we've got Maroochydore.Australia, the Urban List, Hampers to Go. So again, these sites that we've seen before. One of the handy things about SEMrush is that it can show you if it's got a toxic score. So we can see with this site here, networthm.com, seems like an unusual name for a site, and it would tell you here that it's irrelevant for Australia, a relevant domain theme, and there's been a warning by the community. So that can be really helpful as you're like, oh, I'm not going to list on that site. Now you're not going to usually find, when you do the searching manually, you're not going to really find these toxic sites, because these toxic sites aren't going to come up when you do that kind of manual searching. Whereas when you use some of these software programs, then it can kind of find everything and you might get some toxic ones that come up. So the good thing is that once you've done that, you can go back to your project. So if you go back to the main menu and then we go down to projects. And then what we're going to do is click here and we would go delete project. We're going to delete that. And then you can go and add a new project again, and that's where you can add in another competitor and go through the same process of finding those links. Another option is this one here, moz.com. And so you get a limited amount of stuff for free from them. But what we're looking at today is the Link Explorer. So again, we're going to put in Smoochies and see what link data it will give us. So you have to go in and create your account. So then once you've logged in, you would then add the domain in there, and it's telling us that there's 20 domains that are linking to it, and there's 42 links altogether. So if we scroll down, then it's going to show us some of the links here. So we would then click on that and it's going to take us to show us the links. So we can see they've got a link from hotfrog.com, the Urban List, yellow.place, Gold Coast Graphic Design. So what you might find is that the stuff that you find in here is very similar to what you did manually, but you might find that there's something that you didn't find when you were looking at the manual side of it. So it's just an opportunity to find just a few more places where you can actually create a link. And bearing in mind that sometimes it can take up to an hour or more to list on one of these sites, even if you're just finding 2 extra new ones each week. And the good thing is that you can go in and you can run this on various competitors whenever you like, just to see, oh, look, there we go, they've got a new one that they didn't have before. So you'll be limited by the amount that you can do. See, it says 9 of 10 queries that are available until the 6th of the 5th. So I can only do another 9 searches for the rest of the month. But still, that's something, right? And then the other software that you could use is Linkity. And again, it's the same thing. You can create like a free account. You can go in there and you can put in your competitors' URLs. There will be a limited amount that you can do, but you can put them in there. And again, just trying to find sites that they have links from. It's the same with Ahrefs. This one, you have to pay $7 for a 7-day trial. But if you'd exhausted all the other options, then you could go into Ahrefs. Again, you're just going to put in the competitor's website and you're going to go to the Backlinks section here and see what links that they have that you could possibly get. So in this case, when you're using these softwares, you're going to be putting in these links. You can't put in the business names. You're just going to be putting in your competitor's website name and going through all of your competitors that you can find, and then going through all the backlinks that they have. So in the written document, I've put links here so that you can easily just go and click on those and go to these and trial them and see if you can find links. And then again, what you're going to be doing is adding any of those new ones that you find into this spreadsheet here where it's your competitors, and then you want to go through and list on those sites. Now what I've also done for you is that I have created another section on this free checklist, which is country-specific directories and sites. So you can see down there, that's the tab, country-specific directories and sites. I mean, I might change the name of that because it's super long, but right, it'll be next to the Backlinks tab. So in this section, what I've done is I've actually just put some directories in here for you that I already know that you could list on. Now, the critical thing is that you'll want to go and do these ones first, because these ones on this list here that you find are going to be highly, highly relevant to your business. But once you run out of those, these are some of the ones that you could list on that are worldwide sites, but they have separate areas for each country. So you can go into this one here, and whatever country you're in, you can go into the section for your country and you can add a listing there. Now, sometimes these sites are free and then they become paid. And so if they become paid, then I would usually take them off of the list. And I've got some here that are specific for stores. Then I've got some where it's really important that you only list on these if it's in your country. Otherwise, it will actually damage your SEO. So for instance, if you're an online store in Australia, you can list on localstore.com.au. But if you are an online store in the UK or in America or Canada and you probably can't list yourself on here. But if you could for some reason, if you got around it somehow and put it yourself on there, then it will actually likely harm your rankings, because Google's going to go, this is a .com.au site. Why is that linking to an American site? That's not a good idea. We don't like it. So therefore, we're going to mark you down. So same with all of these here. Only list on these if your business is in Australia, or if you want your website to rank in Australia. Then I've got some that are just for America, some that are just for Canada and the UK. Now, My clients are in Australia, and so I have loads of different sites that I can list on for Australia. It's a bit tricky with America because of the fact that you're a .com, and there are a lot of .com sites where you can list all over the world. But really, if you're in America, you just want these .com sites. If you're in some other countries, you can have .com sites going to your website, provided like these ones do that have a specific country section. But yeah, if you're in Canada, you want lots of .ca sites. If you're in the UK, you want lots of .co.uk sites, etc. So what would be really awesome is if you are, for instance, in the UK and you find a site that is very specific to the UK with a .co.uk, then what you can do is you can come into this spreadsheet and you can right-click and you can go down here where it says comment, and then you can add a comment. I found this site, and then just like paste in what it is, blah 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 blah, .co.uk, and then you can save that as a comment. And so what happens is that it will then have this little orange arrow there, and when anyone hovers over that, oh, that's annoying, isn't it? It will show that, and so I can go in and see those comments, and then I can add certain ones into the list if I think that it's something that could be beneficial to people in that country. So that would be really awesome. That will be a way that's going to help everybody that's in countries other than Australia, because if I find ones in Australia, then I can add those on, or if you find ones in Australia as well. So I do have other ones for Australia that I might add in later on, but I don't want to make it sort of too overwhelming right now. And the key critical thing is that I want you to be going and finding your own, because then you're going to get the ones that are the most relevant and the best anyway for your site.